This is my audience this evening. And I also have 2 people joining me via Skype. This evening, I will be talking about the effectiveness of SIDS. According to LoganHealth.org, SIDS is the leading cause of death in babies after 1 month of age to 12 months, 1 year. So what exactly is sudden infant death syndrome? SIDS. A child that unexpectedly passes away, not necessarily due to suffocation, in a crib, on the couch, wherever your child might be laying or sleeping. It's not necessarily due by suffocation. It can be other things such as accidents that happen prior to laying the child down, a concussion, alcohol abuse or drug abuse while pregnant. Those are huge factors that play a huge role in pregnancy, and when the child is born, those also can affect, that just can't be caught by doctors that early, but will affect the child in those 12 months that the child is gradually growing. Many daycare providers practice safe sleep, although it is highly discouraged in their homes. My question is, why is this? If a daycare provider does put the child down safely to sleep, why can this practice not be practiced at home with adults and parents and other people that do lay your child down? Is it mandatory to practice safe SIDS at home? I think that this is a huge question that's very debatable. Cultures play a huge role in this as well. Some cultures do swaddle infants. Some cultures believe it's not okay to swaddle infants, such as states like Minnesota. They banned infants from being swaddled in daycares because of hip bone structure and them growing into later life and them not being able to walk correctly or being bow-legged or things like that. Those also play a huge role. Are parents just lazy to practice safe sleep, or are they uneducated about what SIDS really are? Personally, I believe that a lot of parents don't know what SIDS are. Again, it is the leading factor in America that causes infant death. So why not educate our educators and our daycare providers and our parents, our soon-to-be parents, about what SIDS actually are and how they can prevent sudden infant death syndrome. It should be mandatory to take a class for future parents about the effectiveness of safe sleep. This I can't stress the importance of because I think it's such a huge issue. Again, I don't believe that when you're in labor, a nurse comes in and talks to you about what SIDS are. And that's where educators come in and things like that. They come in and they want to teach educators and future parents, and it should be mandatory for a parent to take a class about SIDS because it's, again, leading cause of death in infants. One thing that I found on the internet that I thought was amazing is the methods of safe sleep. There are so many methods of safe sleep that you can provide to your child for sleep effectiveness, for them to sleep longer through the night, for you to have a peaceful ease of mind that when you know that when you lay your child down that there's nothing that can happen to the baby and things as such. For example, when you lie your child down, you lie your child down on its back. A lot of parents don't like to use pacifiers. I totally for pacifiers. I think that it's when they're sucking on them and they're actually laying down, that they are providing that open airflow in their mouth and they're actually grabbing or grasping more oxygen as they sleep. When you have a crib, it should have vents on the side and in the front to let airflow and ventilation come in so the baby can breathe better and more oxygen again can come into the crib. Cribs should not be placed by windows, things like that, because again, fire hazards and things like that with bad weather outside, glass being broken. And when you're sleeping, there's a bad storm outside, you don't really know what's going on, but things again can happen. And one thing that I can't stress the importance of is no blankets should be placed in the crib and no bedding should be in the crib. And those are just some methods that I found on the internet that I would like to share with my audience. And whether you be an educator, want to be a daycare provider, or you're soon to be parent, or you're already a parent, then you're just not, or you're misinformed, or you're uneducated about what SIDS really are. Those are some things that I looked up that I found fascinating that I would like to speak about too, just to mention so people can gain knowledge about it. So How are these methods? How do they contribute to a safer sleep environment? They contribute a lot. They basically tell you how to put your child down, how, things for them to sleep better again, and for them to wake up and you're not dealing with the problem of something that happened prior to laying your child down for a nap. And one thing that I found most important about SIDS are that when this policy, I think that should be highly enforced. I think that it should be enforced by parents taking classes, taking any classes before they have a child. Even like with the WIC programs that I know that sometimes they would want parents to come in, especially first-time parents, so they can gain a little bit of knowledge of what's going on, how their baby should eat, how their baby should sleep. Again, quote, that's what my topic's about. That's what I want to tell you guys. I just want to stress that importance over to you guys. I want parents to gain this knowledge. I want them to go out and promote this knowledge, to teach other people about why it's so important to use SIDS in their homes. Not only in daycare facilities, not only in other homes, but in your own home. Take SIDS, for example. Children die of it all the time. It's the leading death in America. And I think that it, again, should be, taught out. Everyone should learn it, keep it, and teach others, educate others about reality, about when you lay your child down, what can actually happen. And I honestly did not know too much about some of the potential risk factors that can happen from actually doing this. But again, so smoking or drinking during pregnancy is a huge risk factor in SIDS. And a lot of people think, again, suffocation. No, it's not. It's not about suffocation. Poor prenatal care. Mothers younger than 20. Stomach sleeping and overheating from sleepwear. And the whole speech, I just want to, force my audience about, enforce this policy because it is a policy in daycares. I think that it's a policy that should be taken out of daycares, that should be enforced for newbies or even existing parents that are having a second or third or fourth child, to take this new information, to learn it, and to educate others about it, so we can actually stop the sudden infant death syndrome in America. And again, I did mention many of your guys', I mentioned some methods for your child when you lay the child down. And my whole main focus of my speech was I wanted to present a little bit of information for my audience so that they may take a little bit, they can maybe go home and read a little bit more about it, and they can actually just educate others about what SIDS are all about. Thank you. Do you guys see our Works Cited? And my Works Cited page, if you guys would like to gain more information about it, it's going to be loganhealth.org, kidshealth.org, cdc.gov, and www.sids.com. Thank you, guys. And again, here's my audience. 2 people via Skype. All right. Thank you for listening.